Police accused of murdering 21-year-old granted bail. And South Africa trashes England in their backyard. With your latest news updates, I'm Hasina Gori. A police constable accused of murdering 21-year-old Papiki Matthews has been granted bail of 800 rand by the Klerksdorp Magistrate Court in the northwest. This follows the constable's arrest by the Independent Police Investigations Directorate. It's alleged that the constable trapped the head of Papiki Matthews in a speeding police van and dragged him for 30 meters, where he fell and died. Sister to the deceased, Papiki Matthews, says they, as a family and community, are disappointed at the leniency of the law in this matter.
We are not happy about what happened. They know the truth, what happened that day. They released somebody with 800. The community is angry. It's angry about whatever is happening in Joburg.
AIDS activists at the International AIDS Conference underway in Washington in the U.S. have called on countries of the world to lift the HIV travel restrictions. There are currently 46 countries, territories and areas that apply some form of restriction on the entry, stay and residence of people living with HIV. The US was one of those countries until President Barack Obama lifted the travel bans 2 years ago. President of the International AIDS Society and co-chair of the 19th International AIDS Conference, Dr. Eli Katabira.
The IS has campaigned long and continue to do so with the remaining 46 countries that still impose some form of restriction on entry, stay or residence based on persons' HIV positive status, change their policies. Here in the US, the Obama administration lifted the travel ban in 2009. I would like to thank all those who played a major role in making this possible.
A just-released survey shows that the quality of life among the people of Gauteng has risen to 6.25% on a scale of 1 to 10. The survey for 2011 is marginally up on the figure of 6.24 for 2009. The study was conducted by the Gauteng City Region Observatory, which is a partnership between the universities of Witwatersrand and Johannesburg and the Gauteng government. Over 16,000 people were interviewed between August and December last year. Senior reporter Chepo Pagan.
Crime, unemployment, drug and alcohol abuse remained the main problems facing the community last year. The number of people who had to skip a meal due to a lack of money increased from 17% in 2009 to 20% last year. Access to public transport was reasonably good, with almost 3/4 of households living within 10 minutes of walk of a public transport system. But the reckless driving, cost and unreliability of the system remained a challenge. All races agreed that corruption was the main threat facing our democracy. 69% of Africans agreed that blacks and whites will never really trust each other, an indication that a whole lot more needs to be done to build non-racialism in Gauteng.
And lastly, South Africa has beaten England by an innings and 12 runs in the first test at the Oval in London. Needing 252 to make South Africa bat again, the home side were all out for 240 just before tea today. Dale Steyn was the best Proteas bowler with 5 for 56, while Imran Tahir took 3 for 63. Hashim Amla was named man of the match for his score of 311 not out, the first ever triple century in a test by a South African. Captain Graham Smith was delighted with the victory in his 100th test.
It's certainly an extremely proud moment for all of us, to have achieved a test victory in the first test of what is a big series and play as well as we have in the context of the first innings and to come back and win the game is an incredible achievement. I don't think we were that terrible on day one, but we lacked maybe a little bit of X factor. We found that on day two. The conditions on that morning sort of suited us, but we found an intensity that maybe we lacked a little bit on day one. We got a couple of plans right on day two, and all credit to our bowlers. They set the tone for us this test match and managed to finish it off on a really good batting wicket.